I have started recording, so whatever you say is going to be in your own voice, and you can't deny it.
I do.
Does anybody have a safety share that they would like to share with the group? Safety share, anybody? On text and
I
drive?
want to say
Okay.
that I mentioned it in our Monday morning meeting, but the people in the Raleigh area, they run red lights every moment.
Yes, ma'am.
They don't slow down. Please, before you pull out in the intersection, make sure somebody's not running those red lights.
That's a good safety share. So even, for folks who ride motorcycles, you already know, count one or two, look left and right, even though you counted one or two, and see somebody's coming up and going to run that light. But in your POV or your company vehicle as well, that's good advice, because they run them not only in Raleigh, but in Greensboro and Winston, all over the state of North Carolina.
And they pull these red lights and, once or twice, if I had been out and moved my car, I'd have been hit.
Yeah, one of the things I think they've helped mitigate some of that, some is the flashing on the highways that are running 45, 50, 55. Hey, this light's getting ready to turn and start slowing down instead of people trying to blow through there. I think that helped somewhat, but yeah, they're still doing it. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna start this side of the room to my right. Just introduce yourself, the company you represent. We're not gonna do projects right yet. What I'm gonna do is let everybody introduce themselves in this room and online. Think about projects that you have coming up. If you don't know of any, while I'm doing my presentation, that gives you time to reach out and ask anybody. Come on up here, Justin. We got one here, buddy. Ask anybody that has knowledge of projects coming up, damages to your facilities, or even near misses, if you'd like to share it with the group.
All right, my name's Scott Ford. I work for Lambert's Cable.
Mike Novak, Lambert's Cable.
Tammy Wooten, USIC.
Ed Riker, sales rep with Premier, Garner.
Michelle Stevens, City of Raleigh.
Zach Carthcat, City of Raleigh Code Enforcement. Brandon Daughtry, manager for Raleigh Water Electric Department.
Mike Alexanderson for Flagger Force.
Byron Johnson with Flagger Force.
John Meyer, the years.
Dave Schulfer, Andrew Goldquist, and Bridge, Dan.
Sam Deckard, Enbridge at AK.
Jeff Mohan, Bridge, South Raleigh.
Steve Bryant, Sun State Trench Safety here in Raleigh.
Daniel, Sun State Trend Safety up here in Raleigh.
Matthew Networks, RVU.
Mark Holland, Dixie Pipeline.
Tiffany Eli, Ambridge Gas, South Raleigh.
Sandra Gumpton, Enbridge Gas, South Raleigh, also treasurer for the North Carolina Health Authority.
Dave Holder, City of Raleigh Transportation Maintenance. Brandon Peebles, Enbridge Gas, North Raleigh.
Kevin Mathieu, Enbridge Gas, North Raleigh. Enbridge, South Raleigh.
Michael Rodriguez, South Raleigh.
Basically, mine is Enbridge Gas, South Raleigh. Jeffrey Flood, Enbridge Gas, South Raleigh. Curtis Rice, Enbridge Gas, Raleigh Region. Enbridge Gas, 8 things. Steve Taylor.
Tyler Thurles, under the new gas compliance analysis / fire liaison. Work with Mark Bridge.
All right, thank you. Anybody else over here? No?
I'm Justice Everett, Levy Utilities here in Raleigh. I'm the excavator representative on the NC 811 Board of Directors.
I'm Trevor Green with Enbridge Gas. I'm with the Damage Prevention Department.
Parish Reddick, North Carolina 811. So we're gonna start up here. Don, you in the room here, sir?
Yeah, Don Proctor, Enbridge Gas, Raleigh Region.
You there, Jackie?
South Raleigh.
Brian?
Brian Morehouse, S&N Communications.
Court Bennett, ITS.
Desmond Whitfield, City of Raleigh.
The cursor's on you, Ann.
Ann Rushing, North Carolina 811.
Fred Hawley, Town of Cary, utility line located.
Desmond, you there?
Desmond Whitfield, City of Raleigh.
All right, let's drop down. Larry. Are you there, buddy?
Yes.
All right, we want to introduce yourself and the company you represent?
Enbridge Gas Transmission.
Matt?
Matt Parsons, Lumen Technologies.
Tom?
Tom Barrett, Serving and Mapping.
Eric?
Eric Blums, Stewart Engineering.
Eric, number 2.
Eric Lochner, Duke Energy.
All right, and then Michael. Are you there, Michael? Mike may not have comms. He can just hear. All right, without further ado, again, I'm going to cover the presentation, and while I'm doing that, think about any projects you have going on, any issues you have in the field with locates, and we can talk about them in a second. So welcome to the Wake UCC for January 2025. Hopefully everybody had a very happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, because we haven't met since October, right? And which may be one of the reasons this group's so large, which we love. Yeah, and hungry. Well, we got a lot of snacks over there, but I don't believe we have any food coming. Since there was such a big gap, we really didn't have anybody scheduled to buy the food. But if somebody would like to do that next month, we'd be more than happy to take your name down. You can coordinate with Miss Sandra, and she can let you know what we need to do with the food drop off. Let me find my cursor and jump on this presentation. So I know this is the end of the month. If you have not been approached by Leslie or her team, if you are an RTE user, remote ticket entry, they will be contacting you to make sure that they have the good contact information. And that's really important when you're uploading your maps. So when we draw a polygon around that area, we want to make sure if you have a new facility or utility in that area, that when we draw that polygon around there, it's captured and you're notified, go locate, either contractually or internally with your locators. So these are the past meetings. So the state UCC met January 14th, LRPC, Located Resolution Partnership Committee met the 15th, and then the 811 board met the 17th. The parish, that's old news. What's going on now? Hey, that's a great question. So the answer to that is the state UCC is going to meet March the 11th. That's going to be in this very building and available on Teams, just like we have folks on Teams now. LRPC is going to meet the 19th, and that's going to be at the 811 Event Center, and that's 5009 High Point Road. Again, if you can't physically travel there and would like to participate, Teams platform, always available, right? It's a great resource. And then the NC 81 board meeting are going to be up in Blowing Rock, Chitola Resorts, and that is going to be April the 25th. Yes, ma'am.
For this March 11th meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Gonna have lunch.
Gonna have lunch here, so that's always a motivator, right? Chow and pay motivates people. Pay them, feed them, they'll show up. Okay, thank you. So do you need RSVPs for that meeting?
I don't want anybody to say at the last minute, find out they can come and not come.
Right.
But it would be wonderful because since COVID, it's a little bit hard to judge.
Okay.
How many people will be here, but it's not, if someone can, at the last minute, finds they can come, they're more than welcome.
Okay, thank you. So with the NC 811 events calendar, the NC UCC, that's how you can find out what's going on, not only with the Wake UCC, but the Lee UCC, the Guilford UCC, the Northwest Tribe. If you want to attend more than one, most of mine, now that I figured out this process, I still have the Teams platform available. I figured out I'd work around. Andrew got on me. He gave me the mandate and I made it happen, Andrew. So from now on, we'll have that option available for the Lee UCC. We were just at the basketball game. If you checked it out, the NCAA 811 calendar events, we were at Winston-Salem. When I say we, Piedmont Natural Gas, Ann and myself, we were at the Wake Forest basketball game versus Duke, and there was a slew of people there. But we did contact a lot of people and gave a lot of stuff away. And looking at the numbers, this is going to be across the state of North Carolina. We're looking at December of 23 versus 24. You can see a 10% increase in the ticket volume. Year to date, just shy of 5%. So we finished up the year 2.8 million locate requests. And then the transmissions, again, December 23 versus 24, 9.5% increase. So we had a whole lot more than we did in 23. Actually, we finished up 23, 15.163 million transmissions sent out to our members, which is a 6.2% increase over 23. Looking at Duke, I mean, I got Duke on my mind now. Looking at Wake, you can see the 3-hour last month increased to shy of 14%. The new tickets increased as well. So 12,864 is just shy of a 4% increase. And thank goodness the ticket volume, as far as the ticket updates last month, actually went down about 6.5%, which is good news, right? So folks are managing their projects. We know there's projects going on out there that are going to be there a hot minute, right? Months to years. We got it. But if you're calling in tickets and updating them and you haven't even started to work, please don't do that. That's a no-go. And if you're having trouble with folks doing that, just reach out to us so we can make contact with them. Now, I've done that in the past with the plumber working for a builder. And he said, I have to do it as soon as they get that building permit, whatever. I have to call tickets in and continuously update them. He said, if I don't, somebody else will, he'll get another plumber to do it. He says, because as soon as he gets something released, I got to go in there and put that water line, sewer line in. I said, man, that's just crazy. But the building industry is driving that. So if there's any way we can mitigate that, get those folks to quit calling, I'm more than happy to listen to you. Average locations per day, 1,210. Switching gears, looking at the year to date, you can see the 3-hour, 9.5% increase. The new tickets actually went down, even though it was up last month. Year to date, it's actually down about 5%. And then continuing that trend on the updates, 3.2% decrease over this time in 23. Average locations per day, year to date, 1,334. A lot of work going on in Wake. I'm glad I'm not a locator. So out of the 22,994, Trevor's glad he's not a locator as well. You can see Raleigh came out on top, but then Apex, Cary, Fuquay Varina, Gardner, Holly Springs, Nightdale, Wake Forest all had large numbers. Top 10 callers for Wake. ITS is in the room. You guys are hopping and popping out there, aren't you? In the area, what are you mainly putting in Wake County? Communication?
Gas, communication.
Gas and communication? Okay. Who are you putting the communication in for?
Charter. Some Google, kind of which area.
Okay. Just, I don't see ABE utilities on here, so you didn't make the top 10.
No, we typically top 10.
Okay. Oh,
We get on the doghouse list rather than
right.
the thoroughbred list.
Right. Okay. I understand. All right. Anybody have any questions or comments on the top 10 callers for last month for Wake? All right. So let's take a look at the damages. And I know there's always some competition between Wake County and Mecklenburg. So Guy, when he was here, he always asked, what are Mecklenburg? So right now we're concentrating on Wake, and you guys had 120 reported damages last month. Again, we need to capture that information and roll it up if you do sustain the damage. But this is the FYI, Mecklenburg had 121. And this is our heat map, and this is damages per 1,000 transmissions. So since you have a large number of transmissions, you're still in the yellow at 120 reported damages. Year to date, so I'm sorry, looking at December's of 24 versus 23, it actually went down about 5, almost same level, but I know that CGA Common Ground Alliance is working on, and they started a year or two ago. They're 50 and 5. So within 5 years, they're trying to reduce damages by 50%. And I don't know where we're at with that. We seem like the damages, according to the stats here, just in North Carolina, are continuing pretty up and down. I mean, we've got some months that are more and a couple months there that are less. So as an excavator, please do what you can to avoid the damages in the ground. There is the NC 811 education team led by Miss Ann Rushing, who is actually on the call with us today. And a copy of this presentation, along with the sign-in roster, everybody had a chance to sign in, I hope. And then I'll grab the sign-in roster online, make sure everybody gets credited for being here, and go all up together. Does anybody have any questions or comments about the presentation?
Hey, Parrish?
Yes.
Is that damage, is that a marked damage, unmarked damage?
Doesn't say, it's just the damages across the state.
It's the reported damage, and of course, most of the people that report, all the people that report damage is know to call 811 before you dig.
Yep.
So generally, they're all marked damages. There are very few. If you don't know to call before you dig, you don't know to call and report a damage. That's kind of the.
So there's still some professional excavators out there. Good point, Justice. There's still some professional excavators out there that say, I'm just going to be over here. I'm not going real deep. I'm not going to call the ticket in, and then end up creating the damage. Am I correct, Trevor?
Correct. I've done it. There's no problem.
Yeah. But as long as you're calling
Good
811, right? I mean, you at least you're trying to be safe. But folks who say we're not going that deep, it's just quick, go over there and put it in. You guys are creating the damages a lot of the time as well.
Well, and I was gonna ask too, sometimes unmarked utilities, they either weren't marked or they were missed, or, nobody knows they're there. That's all just.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, if you did what you're supposed to, call the locate in so they can come out and locate utilities. Now, I heard at one time there's some fiber being put in the ground that was unlocatable, untraceable. Is that still being done? Are they still putting fiber in that they can't locate?
Yes.
Why? So what's the purpose in?
Non-shield. Supposed to have marker ball.
So they're locating it per the marker ball.
They're supposed to have, there's a spec on the marker ball, so if it's non-shielded fiber, it needs, Lambert's will put marker balls
Every, how often?
every 50 feet.
50 feet? Do the marker balls ever get dug up and not put back, you think?
I think that's happened in the past. Just had an experience with one going to a substation not too long ago. There's some damage on the line, sent a crew out. They had already put marker balls in. They called for non-shielded because the location to the substation, shielding was placed. And so they had to redo the whole project, dig up the marker balls, go from there.
So they put non-shielded in because it interferes with, it doesn't interfere with other communications?
There's a spec away from the substation that you have to have tolerance away from any kind of electrical facilities with non-shielded or the shielded fiber.
But once they get away from that area, do they go back with shielded after that?
That's correct.
Okay, great.
If there's a union, if it's one continuous piece, and there may not be a necessarily reason for it, but typically you like to see a handhole or something, some kind of pull point or a splice
And
pin.
then it'll transition from there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, with that, that's a great segue. We got somebody on the line?
Yeah, there's also a few tickets I've gone out to for reported damages of lines that haven't been marked, and it's because they've been abandoned. And obviously the contractor doesn't know that, and when they're digging and it's not being marked because it's no good. But they put in reported damage because they don't know what the deal is with that cable.
Yeah, that's a good point. So hopefully if whatever utility they're damaging, they're reaching out to that utility to report it to you guys as well.
Right,
So you can verify
sometimes they-
whether it's still active or it's been abandoned.
Right. Sometimes they put in the ticket before verifying with the individual company because they don't even know what company it belongs to.
Okay. All right. Good point, Fred. Any projects you got going on that you'd like to know about? Or anybody else would like to know about?
I don't, cause I pretty much in the office, maybe he does.
Okay.
We got a lot of big projects going, but nothing that jumps to the top of my mind. I mean, there's big road moves, of course, going through Rayford, Rayford Road, and Fayetteville, all through 95. I mean, it's just been expanding for miles, you know, so there's nothing in particular.
All right.
Yeah. Just a little word of the wise being from USIC, and I'm a damage investigator, so I've exceeded locating. But I know on a lot of these projects, I hear the locators talking, and the easiest way to get us out there on a project is not to call the whole project in at the same time. And so I know you guys are due refreshers, you have to upgrade your tickets and all of that, but when you guys have a 3-mile project and you call the whole project in every time you update your tickets, there's no way for us to determine where you guys are actually digging. So if you call in the area, which I know is a pain, it's a lot more hassle for you guys to pinpoint. Communication is huge with the locators. If they can keep in contact, they can get out on these projects and locate the areas where the digging is going to happen, which helps the damages subside, you know.
Yeah.
We can, because it's starting to pick up. We're going to hit our dig season. It's going to be super, super busy. I feel this year is probably going to be better than ever because of our new political stand. So we should all be busy, but if we just not call in the whole project every time, it will help a lot. A
Good
whole
point.
lot.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have any projects going on. I'm a sales rep with Premier, but I'm kind of here just for anyone who needs help with any directional boring machines, plows, trenchers, back trucks, back trailers, and utility locators. I have business cards here with me. So if any of you guys want to talk to me about any of your needs after this, I'll be here.
All right. Thank you.
For the educational aspect, I've been in my job for about 3 weeks. So.
Woohoo! Well, welcome.
Only in the water's fine. But it's deep.
Yeah, so I was just curious about the damages thing, because we have sewer, sometimes it doesn't have a clean out, and nobody knows, you know, it's hard to locate, so just thinking about that, because sometimes we'll have a sewer damage, but then we can't, you know, there's nothing we can do about it, we just close it out on our end, I didn't know. But yeah, just here with code enforcement, if y'all have any questions or anything like that, I'm just trying to make some contacts and make sure that we put Michelle in the deep end first, so that's, but.
One of the ways you can mitigate that is before somebody puts utility, and it's expensive on the front end, right? Pre-camera and post-camera jobs, so you can find the clean outs, especially the laterals. You can see where they are and kind of pinpoint those, so you don't damage them as you're crossing them in the right way. That's a good point. All right.
I'm the manager with the Raleigh Water Locates. So, y'all can reach out to me if I need assistance with anything. We send y'all code 55, you know, we have to be on site on the spot to get our report. So email we send out tells you step by step what to do. Any one of y'all can call me and ask for assistance.
Thank you.
So, my name's Mike Alexander. So we do temporary traffic control for Flag Force, doing all kinds of projects constantly. Every day there's a new project. We have some really big project for Duke Energy now, replacing over 1,500 lampposts across all of Raleigh City and stuff like that, from North Hills to out here on Capitol. We were just yesterday, so we are all over the place. I cover the whole eastern North Carolina, and then Byron here, he covers all North Carolina. So, but yeah, we have projects going all the time. So if you guys need some temporary traffic control, we'd be loving to help you guys out. So.
I'm Byron Johnson, DFO for Flag Force. Like Mike said, we've been in the traffic control business for over 22 years. We have an office right here in Durham Airport. Just trying to get our name out there, looking for a quality traffic control company, that will take care of you, to make sure everybody's safe, get on the road on time. Please give us a try. We have our order forms here, and I have my business. It's just come talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over in that old lot, big one. Hear that?
Across Raleigh. Okay. Yep. Dave got something. Nothing? Same? He stole your thunder, right?
We're the same place. Yeah, no, just
All right.
normal stuff. There's nothing huge.
Wake County.
Good answer, Andrew.
If you want to hear what I'm doing, you have to come to the Lee County UCC meeting in 2 weeks.
There you go.
I'll plug it.
Inviting folks to the UCC and Lee. So if you have utilities there, you're more than welcome to show up. Thank you.
Andrew, where's Lee County UCC meeting?
Do you know, or are you asking so I'll say it?
Yes.
800 North Corner Boulevard in San, our office.
Oh, I mean.
All right.
So I handle the North Raleigh area, 7 locator first responders and multiple Southern Cross contract locators. If you need anything, not getting, things marked or something, all stuff.
Yeah, no issues, just here for the member.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, State Transit Rules here in Raleigh, here network and everything. Just wanted to, anybody who's obviously doing underground work of all utilities, and then you get the 4-foot threshold below. We're here to provide trench safety shoring, steel boxes, aluminum frame boxes. You hold everything you need to keep you safe down at work. So reach out to me. I got cards and everything, and be glad to talk to you.
Yeah, for networks, same story, trying to get located all the time. We have a meeting with USIC every Monday. We do call our tickets in gradually, trying to call on the whole project. I'm not going to pinpoint one person. It's good to see USIC at one of these meetings up. Now we can all gang up on you.
And then buy your lunch.
You know, locate the keep working. That's the issue every week. Very reasonable. Said I talked to locators, that too. Locators call me since I've been here. We try to coordinate the best we can, but we always need things, need more things.
Yep. And thank you for doing that.
No problem.
Hey, Ted.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Miss Sandra, would you like to talk about the joint UCC coming up? Okay.
I was beginning 17 updates waiting from a contractor. This job has been updated, I know of 5 times. And when our locator checked it out, the job is finished.
But you're still updating
But
it.
it's still updated. I'll give you a copy before you leave today.
Okay.
I'm gonna also contact the company that, has the contract.
Okay.
Send them the locates also. Next thing is our North Carolina, South Carolina joint conference that's going to be held at Wrightsville Beach at the Holiday Inn Resort. The dates are May 14 through 16. The registration per person is going to be $250. If you bring a guest, and this will be for dinner on Thursday night, will be $95. If you enjoy golf, it's $125. And if you want to be a vendor, it's $900. This is the prices that we came up with. We are less than what South Carolina was last year. But in order to meet our budget, we're gonna have to charge these prices. Hopefully, everybody will be able to go. We've always had a great conference and a lot of good educational information comes out of it. And right now, we're in the process of getting our speakers. And once we get all this as it should be and get a registration out there, which North Carolina 811 is working with us, we'll get the registrations out and you'll be able to sign up to the registration online. Hopefully, you'll be able to pay or PayPal. I will need to have a copy of that registration sent to me. And if you plan to be a vendor, I need that information also. So hopefully none of this will change. We're going to talk again Friday of this week. And hopefully we'll have everything ready to start putting this together.
Okay. And has taken control of my computer. Yep, so she wanted to bring up the fact, if you go to the UCC website and click on the joint UCC, the registration is not open yet. It will be opening soon, but it does have the dates up there, 14th through the 16th, and then where we're going to be at. Hotel reservation or information as well, and there is a special rate. And you said yesterday we have the whole hotel, is that correct?
That is correct.
So we're gonna rock it out. If you plan on coming out, please register as soon as it opens up. But I think you can go ahead and make your hotel reservation right now.
That is correct. The room reservation link is open. And one of the things that you'll notice here, and Sandra can speak to it since she's in the room, it will show the website stating that it's $30, but you're actually only being charged $15 for that parking fee per night. So it will populate correctly.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you. What these rooms are rented, you'll have to find alternate hotels close by.
If you want to make some money, get a room with 2 queens and you can rent commissary. I'm just kidding. All right, Dave. No issues? All right. None? Good? Okay.
No issues. I'm a supervisor here in South Raleigh, so kind of like Tommy, we obviously locate and damage response stuff like that.
All right, thank you.
I support some of the technology that, local first pilots use out in the field, and we do have some that come up every now and again, but, you guys notice, maybe while you're interacting with our guys, they think we can make better in processes, we can streamline this, but I'll share my contact information.
All right.
I'm in the regional side on the operations, and really nice to see a good turnout. Hopefully we can keep this going.
Yeah.
The networking and kind of crossing over, putting face with the name and then I guess sharing over projects that we're having is more helpful than we realize. So please keep that going and let me know how.
Okay, thank you.
New construction, gas, Apex, Cary, Borstal,
All right. The back room, man.
Right now.
Okay, thank you.
Taylor's doing a really good job of kind of revamping and revitalizing our fire liaison program. We've had a good program for years. He's kind of focusing on that. He'll be meeting with Ann here in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Down in Concord, I believe.
Okay, cool. Yep, so we work closely with Piedmont Natural Gas in the same thing, so, yeah, we're looking forward to that again. Yep. Just, I know you got some.
Oh, I've always got.
Uh-oh, he's got his notepad out.
Yeah, I made 1 or 2 notes. Number one, on the 50% reduction in damages in the next 5 years. That's a very doable and achievable goal. Most important thing is going to be to have timely locates to affect that. Back to the point of when you're digging up wires to the telephone tree, looks like tree roots. We don't know whose they are, because they're all black and they got multicolored wires in it. But I'm going to find the telephone tree one day in my life. I know. I can't wait. We've got a couple other things going on. The North Carolina 811 general statutes are in the process of being rewritten. We hope to have legislation, or we hope to have a document to the bill writers end of this week, first of next week. It's pretty quick. A couple of things that will impact everyone is the 3 days won't start from the date of notice. It will start from the date the contractor tells the one call center is the date of commencement. In other words, if I call in today and tell them I'm not going to start for 8 days or 10 days, let's just say 10 days, they'll act like the notice goes out in 7 days. The notice will still go out, but the 3-day window will move from the date of notice to 3 days before construction. That's to buy the locators some float and try to help those guys out. The next thing that we feel is going to happen is the life of the ticket is going to go to 28 days.
And that's calendar days.
Calendar day. 4 weeks. In other words, if you're calling in a ticket on a Monday, you don't have to update it until 4 Mondays. That's going to give, hopefully, the locators twice as much time to get the locates done. Granted, there's fees and deductions for updates and 3-hour tickets and those kind of things. But excavation community, we're desperate for locates. Just desperate for locates, and we don't mind maintaining the marks. We can get locates. That's the trade-off. The excavators have to maintain the marks. We can still call in a destroyed marks ticket, and there's going to be a lot of that going on. But that's going to be, I think that'll be a good thing. That should, we know the tsunami's coming with the last mile broadband fiber that's getting ready to go in, and we just need to, hopefully this will make that happen. One thing that's going to help the municipalities, where facility operators will have a 3-hour window to respond for emergencies. Greensboro kind of requested some language that if we've got a water leak, we need locates, and it's an emergency, they'll call 811, it'll be an emergency ticket, and the locators have to respond to the excavator within 3 hours. I didn't say put paint on the ground. They've got to respond to the excavator within 3 hours. For example, if I've got a water leak and we're not going to mobilize till tomorrow morning, and you call an emergency ticket in because you've got a leak and you're still trying to figure things out, that's what that 3-hour window's for. So somebody will call you back within 3 hours about what your locate needs are. Make that happen. Let's see. Trying to think what else we're doing. We've got some other procedural things. There's a lot of procedural things with the Underground Damage Prevention Review Board, just cleaning up language and milestones, or filing claims and responses that make a little bit more sense. Once again, Trevor is still batting 1,000 on every claim he puts in for failure to locate. He wins. It's great. So it's always interesting and always exciting. And once again, we desperately want paint on the ground, and whatever we need to do to make that happen, willing to do that. Of course, we do larger and longer life projects than most of the telecoms do. I mean, Google Fiber came in my neighborhood. Man put in 2 cul-de-sacs. They were gone in 2 days. And, we probably got 50 or 60 homes in the neighborhood on our little street. And if we had to go in there and relay the water line, we won't be gone for 2 months. So we've got needs to update tickets for a longer period of time, but 17 times, Sandra, when the job's finished is a little ridiculous.
I
So,
can only imagine what it's costing utility owners.
oh, I understand, and we would love to have, one of those locators come to our job. And it's so important because we've been trying to get some primary power located. We finally got it located. And guess what it goes through? Right where the proposed catch basin location is. So now we got some redesign. But that's okay. That's what it's all about is making this stuff happen and, going home every night with 10 fingers and 10 toes and 2 eyes and 1 nose, just like you came to work. All right, that's it.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
As far as the damage prevention department and the gas company, there is always a perpetual project going. That project is excavator assistance and education. I see a lot of you guys in here that I have not seen, so you may not be familiar with me or what I do. Others that are familiar with me, you see me out in the field, dropping in on work sites, inspecting, making sure you guys have marks for gas at least. And so I do a lot of that to try and assist excavators. So I look at and try to help increase performance of internal locators, but also to help you excavators, free education. I come by and I'll give a presentation to any of your subs, any of your crews. We go over aspects of 811 law, best practice, safe digging practices, and how to respond if a gas line is hit. Okay, I'll teach your guys about natural gas itself so that you can rest a little easier that if something bad does happen, it doesn't get worse because they're ignorant about natural gas. Okay, free service. I can either come out to you guys or we have a facility that we have excavators come to us. And if you come to us, you get a show at our fire pit facility where we let the guys see exactly what happens when natural gas does combust, and it makes a strong impression. But for any of you excavators that have subs that maybe just kind of, you sign the contract, let them loose. If it'd be in your best interest, give me a call. Let me come by and give them some tutorials. Let me come by 15, 20 minutes of talking to make sure they understand how to dig safely around the gas line. And that will save everybody a lot of potential headaches going forward. But I'm a resource primarily to the excavator community from the gas company. So feel free to reach out to me with anything you need.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Moving on to the online folks, Don.
Yeah, I don't have anything specifically. I just want to thank everybody. It looks like we got a great turnout today, and hopefully we can keep this momentum going throughout the year. But yeah, just thank everybody for working together. We're all one big team, and we need each other to accomplish what we need to accomplish during the year. So appreciate everybody's cooperation. Keep those lines of communication open. Don't hesitate to call. And if anybody needs anything from me, again, don't hesitate to call. So I'm on the construction side, so in North and South Raleigh. So if anybody needs anything, like I said, feel free to call. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Don. Jackie?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't really have anything. Thank you.
Okay. Court?
No, I'm good. Everything's good. But I just sat there in the last few meetings and stuff we've been into and we listen to, and we just keep talking about damage reductions. And I just look at our gas operators and what they're doing to reduce damages. If all the other operators would maybe learn something from the gas operators, that goal will get reached faster and quicker than ever. But that's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you. And Sam?
Thank you, Parrish. All right, a couple updates. Being that we're talking about damages, I'll give you a report for the Underground Damage Prevention Review Board. So we did meet last week. We had 39 cases. Eric Lochner, he's also on our call too as well. And he sits on that board as well. So of the 39 cases, there were 18 that were issued Pipes Plus training. And then the total of the fines were $17,500. There were 9 cases that were dismissed. And what was interesting about this round of complaints were we are beginning to see more homeowners making complaints. And it's typically just the fact that telecommunication is coming across their property. They're making complaints. And so just, I think a couple observations. One, if you have crews that are out in the neighborhoods, please communicate with these neighbors. The more, communication, the better, because they're making complaints. And unfortunately, on the cases that they submitted, there were no photos. There was no documentation other than just hearsay. So, communication goes a long way. So we are also going to be looking at providing additional information specifically on our website for the homeowners. We're going to focus around them to make sure that they understand what they need to provide as far as documentation. And also, even as a contractor or whomever making these complaints, make sure that you're able to tell your story. As Justice mentioned, Trevor's really good about, the complaints that have been given to us for Enbridge. They have great documentation and they're pretty easy to follow. At the end of the meeting, it was mentioned to us that Piedmont Natural Gas will also be placing, probably a large number of complaints. And we did see some of those from them. And it was mainly for those that did not have locate tickets. As time goes on, I'm sure we'll see certainly an increased volume of complaints from Piedmont Natural Gas too as well. So that could even double our case volume. So just want to encourage you to communicate. If there's anything that NC 811 can do to alleviate these complaints going to the review board, please reach out to Parrish. Any of our other liaisons around the state, we're here to support you. Try to facilitate communication. And then back to the point of our USIC locator there, you made just a great statement. It's all about communication. We're trying to work with the contractors that are dumping in, 3 miles of tickets, knowing they can't do it all at one time. So just communicate. That's all we can do to alleviate some of these complaints. The LRPC, that meeting, once again, we continue to focus on those updates. So I would encourage you, if you're a member, your contractors that are working for you, please, follow behind them, communicate with them, know what they're doing, because there are just an overabundance of locates and, for updates, and it's, year over year, our goal is to chip them down, but unfortunately that's not the case. They're continuing to rise. So we're still at about 32% of all the volume is still updates. With that, I think that's all I have for now. So thank you, Parrish.
Thank you, Ms. Ann. Brent. Are you still with us, buddy?
I'm still with us. I honestly, I don't have any concerns or complaints at my area. Most of my contractors work really good in my area. I have multi-year projects in the dozens in my area, and just we have great communications with them.
Okay, thanks, Fred. Let's drop down to Matt.
Hey, Parrish. I don't have anything either. I mean, if any of the excavators out there have any issues getting the Lumens facilities located, they can reach out to me and we can get them escalated for completion.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Eric. Bloom.
Hey, yes, we don't have any real concerns right now. The only project that we're working on in Wake County, is sewer engineering, in the geomatics practice, that is the addition of a new raw water line that's going to be going from Falls Lake to the water treatment plant up there in North Raleigh. And we're just got guys on, boots on the ground up there, just marking utilities and, surveying them in.
Thanks, sir. Desmond. I think he might have some bad comms. Larry.
I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Eric Lautner.
Hi, good morning. I just wanted to add to what Ann and the person from USIC mentioned about communication. That's key. If you do not have the local USIC supervisors' contact information, I would highly encourage that. For example, using the example they used for a 3-mile long project, if USIC is running behind, at least if you are talking with them, they know where to start and they can keep paint on the ground and prevent crew downtime. So again, just reiterating what they said about communication and collaboration. Thank you.
Sure. And Michael Hooker.
Yes, sir. I'm all good, Parrish. I did want to ask, Justice, I think, mentioned about some new legislation. Any idea when that may be passed or?
Yes, sir. Michael, your question is, you'd like to know when we think the legislation will be passed?
Correct.
The tentative schedule would be, hopefully we can get it to the bill writers in the next couple of weeks. The legislature starts in session next week. The goal would be to get it back from the bill writers and get it passed and signed into law and have it available either the 1st of October or the end of October. So the train's rolling down the tracks. We just got to make sure everybody's on board.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and that's generally been a process. They give them time to align the numbers with state statute law to the changes, and then obviously we have to print new guides, convert it over to Spanish as well, and then so they give us toward the end of the year. October has generally been when those laws come into effect. Thank you, Justice. All right, does anybody have anything else? Yes, sir.
Just want to reiterate what Brandon was saying about code 55. So just to give like a little example, what happened was there was a code 55 that we sent, and I'm going to just share the story without sharing too many details, but we sent it back to the contractor.
And a code 55 is what?
A critical facility.
Critical facility.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I just want everybody to.
Sorry. Yeah, I need to go a little slower, I guess. So yeah, code 55, critical facility. And that means that our locators need to be on site, right? Yes, sir. Whenever you're excavating. So this particular facility was a force main that was really hard to locate. And so the code 55 email was sent back to the contractor, and it went into a staff's spam folder. So they didn't get that. So the contractor kept updating tickets, finally was like, okay, it's time to go out there. Never contacted Raleigh Water. And even though we had sent the email, they didn't see it. They went out there, they hit the force main, it caused an SSO. And $15,000 later, we're sitting here looking at it, we're like, after action report, what could happen, right? So in that scenario, just so make sure that your processes are that when we send that email back of how to contact, how to get Raleigh Water on site, that you guys are actually receiving that, and if you're not, like check the spam folder or whoever in the office is. And even the contractor said, even if that person would have gotten it, they are not the field staff. So then they made a process to where they would make sure that office person would then get that information to the field staff. So just trying to keep the education going, because we don't want to cause SSO. We don't want sewer to be spilling out into a creek or anything. So, just trying to make sure everybody's on the same page to eliminate these damages. And, even though there's some things out there that are hard to locate, at least we would be on site to kind of try to locate it with all those tools that we got available.
What's an SSO stand for?
Sanitary sewer overflow.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So you did 55, which is marked, but you still request to be on site when they're, you think part of the reason they went out there and dug without having field representation there was because it was marked? You'd have put 50 on there, which is critical facility, but it's not marked. Contact us. We'll mark it when we go out there type of thing. Think that would have mitigated some of that?
55, we sent an email to the contractor, asking them to create a service request for us to be on sites.
Yeah. No, 50 is critical facility not marked. The owner, utility, or designated representative have contacted the excavator and agreed to a period that the owner representative must be present during the excavation to identify the unmarked facility. So if you wouldn't have marked it and sent them a 50, it's critical facility, we need to be on site. Maybe they wouldn't have went out there and dug. When they saw it, 55 is you marked it. 55 is you marked it. Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah, but both require personnel from the facility owner on
Right.
site,
I want to be on
regardless.
site while you guys are out here digging.
And if we're making an attempt and we're still having questions about our marks, they're going to see marks out there regardless. Some scenarios, it's the contractor doing work on site, doesn't ever get to see the responses, and all they do is get a green light from their office to go ahead and do the work.
Yeah, and I think in this case, everybody, even the contractor, told us that they knew it was hard to locate this force main. It had no, tracer wire. So it was a very hard to locate force main. And our guys put paint down, but it wasn't even close to where it was.
Okay.
So I got a question on that, please, or comment. So shouldn't that be, when those instances happen, especially for a critical facility, and the contractor, excavator, whoever goes out to excavate, bore, or what have you, or to try to spot that facility, shouldn't they contact the facility owner if they don't spot it? Or are we talking the marks are so far away that they don't feel like they need to spot?
I mean, they should have contacted the city regardless, or the facility owner regardless, because that's what 55 means.
They would have saw the positive response also, right?
Yeah.
That's the law to check positive response. They would have saw code 55 regardless if they got the email.
Right. Okay.
Or somebody in the office probably checking it and not communicating to the field operator. Hey, it's Mark. Go out there and
I will tell you, the city of Raleigh does an excellent job with those emails, because we get them, when you're working around 16 or 12 inch and above, or 16 inch and above borderline. It's just an excellent job. But every now and then they just.
But your office personnel are receiving that, not your folks in the field. So you're communicating that with the folks in the field?
Oh, yes.
So that's the disconnect I think they're talking about. The folks in the field are not receiving, hey, you got to contact these folks before you go on site to dig around this facility. It's critical.
And
Yeah.
There's a lot of good companies that do tell their employees, but it's not everyone.
That's correct.
And the folks who are going out there and getting dinged by the Underground Damage Prevention Review Board on top of the Heights Plus training, I would like to see, and this is just a parish thing, mandatory 2 UCCs with their signature on there. I mean, they can even do mine online, but they're attending, right? Well, they're not attending now. So that's just parish. All right, any more questions? More comments? All right, we're at the hour mark, folks. So the next time we're going to get together is going to be the 25th of next month, 25 February, and a meal. You guys like to eat, right? Always good to break bread. Does anybody would like to purchase the meal for the group? Not the online folks, only the people here. Anybody? Well, if you would, come see us after. Yeah? Would you? Okay. So just reach out to Miss Sandra. Yeah. Thank you, Dixie. And we miss you guys at the Lee UCC in Sanford.
It conflicts every time with my schedule.
Yeah, that's cool. Again, Andrew mandated that I have it online as well, so you don't have to physically be there. I do have to provide the teams per Andrew at his request, so just saying. All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody online. You guys be safe, and we'll see you next month. Yeah.